We are on NRL Fantasy live show for Thursday. Turtles were a couple of minutes late. I take full responsibility for it. But while we're here, I just want to take a chance to slander someone quickly. Fungs Flukes comes in with his hateful commentary from the non-troll account. Guys, Fungy has let you down this week. What we've heard is he has the flu. He's out, and he said 1 to 2 weeks as well. Turtles, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a coward is this guy?
Definitely a 10. I think he has to rename himself from Fungy's Flukes to Fungy's Flu. And yeah, it's just poor form. Poor form. There's zero credit to the boys here. Not liking it.
It's disappointing. It's very disappointing. And look, if Fungy was in fantasy, I wouldn't be captaining him this week. He's not a Michael Jordan play through it flu game kind of guy. He's more of a sit back and let someone else take control. So, Fungy, we hate you. And no, look, hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're feeling all right. Quickly hit some of the messages. So, Blaze, can't wait. Only good fantasy show left from Arrow. Yeah, look, it's the best one. It's the best one, the Thursday show. I'm actually so pumped for us to have this next year. Like in the big rounds as well. I reckon it's going to pop off. Round 1, Thursday show will be crazy, man. Fire up the captain debate. We'll get into that in a sec. What's about Tedesco captain against the Eels? Turtles, do you like this at all?
Yeah, it's a bit of a pod captain. I don't mind it.
Yeah, my one worry, because I don't mind it either, is Parramatta have D'd up a few times, and Combank is a bit sloppy as well. So with the rain, it might be a bit slippery. We've seen Tedesco, slip and slide a few times before. Kanga, howdy, let's get rowdy. You always send that one through. Arrow, Drinkwater captain, Turtles, any love for that?
Nah, not against the Tigers. Not a fan.
Could be. I mean, he averages like 67, but the upside, as much as he scored 100 last week, he normally doesn't pop off big. Best show going around. Cheers, mate. Little late. Oh, Noz is always here to bring the hate. Always here to bring the hate. That's to tell you how you doing, man. Wayne, we're here now, mate. We're here now. Karaz is captain, Turtles, against Melbourne.
Ooh, no. Hard no.
Risky.
Hard no.
Yeah, risky. Kurt Donahue, big shout. What's up? Butters, shut up, babe. The Thursday show is on. Got a shout out Butters too. Butters just overtook me this week. I think he's about 10 points ahead. I was a couple of points ahead last week, so we're sort of going back and forth a bit. Chen Kam Tong, hey Turtles, hey Longy, yo. Any good bunnies fantasy players? You've got one that you want to talk about. You know what? Let's. I'm going to save that caveat. I just want to quickly hit everyone here. We'll talk about Fogarty and Tarpane as well. Looping Fungy this week. Yeah, he's not trustworthy. Let's get it on. Jack Bird as captain. We'll talk about this loophole as well. Turtles, any good bunnies fantasy players? I'll let you start this off because if you're buying this guy, you're probably thinking about captaining him too, right?
Nah, not captaining him. Not captaining him at all. All right, so this is strictly for the people who have insane amount of depth. I'm saying you don't have Talon Silva, you don't have Finu, you basically don't want to have Watson either at this stage. You have a full squad, everyone green dots. Okay, there is a team like that. It's the Misso's team, and she's most likely going to be buying Keon Kalamatangi this week. And the reasoning behind that is there's not many few guys left who can average over 60 in the last 3 games. And even though he's only going to play 2 games with that bye, with a team which has that much depth of like quality players, you kind of need loopers to make sure you optimize your team to get the most amount of points as possible. And no one has any bunny players. So the team has no injuries, there's no bunny players, and there's 3 trades left. So yeah, right now we're targeting Keon. No one has him. He's shown us multiple times he can score over 60 with ease. Dragons matchup is good. The Missos team is buying him this week.
I'll just shout out to, if you're really, really feeling it, you maybe think about captaining him. Like he's done it before where he's gone back-to-back 80 plus. So the dog wants to come up too. But he's gone back-to-back 80 plus in the past, and he could do it again. He's got 100 plus before as well. You like it? Yeah, me too. But look, if you wanted to take a brave captaincy call, I would say Keon it's a bit risky with the injury there, but it's a long shot basically. Like it's a Hail Mary play. And yeah, you could have a go at it if you wanted to. Keon Kalamatangi, he has that bye next week though. So if you don't have the depth, I agree with you there, Turtle, completely. You've got to steer clear. Now, Payne Haas comes in. It's the real Payne Haas. By the way, we have confirmed that it is Payne Haas who watches the show. Who do I loop out of Watson, Turbo, and Josiah? So this is a tough one. I'd probably be running. I think Turbo is the safest call out of those guys. If you could run a loop between Turbo and Watson, I think that's the play. We can't give up on Watson completely just yet. And he's got that Parramatta matchup who have leaked some points against some softer teams. Mamazella scored that try next week, for example, or last week. Jack Bird is captain for Nos, mate. crazy. And then here we go. Hayden, hey Longy, I don't know if you remember the start of the season. You said Stefano wouldn't be a good option as he needs time to get used to Melbourne's system, but you said he'd be interesting to look at mid-season. Yeah. Oh, hey, another dog. Oh, God. Sorry, Hayden. I'll bring you a comment up in a sec. Oh, that's cute. Let me put you on full screen. Yeah.
This is Mia, and that's why I was trying to get under the. She was hiding under the bed. She's very, very small, and she's a bit shy.
Wow.
Yeah,
She's she's cute, mate. You got a little fluff there. I'll bring Mia up as well. She goes, little mayonnaise. Oh, you don't want to be here at all. You don't like this. She's been playing in the rain, so she looks a little scruffy, but yeah. She's sort of sick of it. She's like, when are we going to stop doing fantasy and go to the dog park? So, mate, it is very cold right now and wet.
I like that. I like that we replaced Fungy with 2 dogs. I feel like that's his worth. He's 2 dogs.
Yeah, it's Fungy or 2 dogs. I mean, I think the dogs. Next year, my plan is actually to give Amaya a fantasy team and to let her make decisions. So I'll present like each week a few options and let her choose which option she likes best, just based on like putting treats in front of pictures. So look, we could give your dog a team as well if you want to.
She doesn't know what to do.
But yeah, I'll keep going through. So Hayden, start of the year, Stefano, it's exactly right. So he has heated up. It took longer than I expected for Stefano to heat up, but I think playing Origin was a big part of that. If he didn't play Origin, I think he might have heated up earlier. So yeah, it sort of went exactly as expected. Like in that Melbourne pack, you got to earn your stripes. And we saw Tariq Sims go in to that Melbourne pack, not at the Stefano level of talent, right? But yeah, but for Tariq Sims, he just never made it, right? So Melbourne, they've got a high standard, and you got to really earn your minutes there. Great captain advice, mate. All three of us nailed that one. Payne Haas, Turtles. We might be doing that again this week.
Payne Haas.
And Johnson for a hat trick tonight. Let's quickly hit some messages, and we'll talk captain. Say hello to Leighton Hall. G'day, Leighton Hall. Good to see you, Leighton. Hopefully you're doing well in your head-to-head finals, man. Then we got Watson, selling Watson. Turtles, 1 to 10. How much do you like this?
I feel like you have to draw the line whether or not you have 2 or 3 trades. If you have 3 trades, you can do it. If you have 2 trades, don't do it. So it's situational.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a sell, but I have 2 trades, and I can go Latu Finu to Tino. Latu's got no chance of being valuable. At least Watson kind of has a shot. So I'm just going to hope for the best there. Then buy Reece Walsh or Tino. Tino's the better fantasy player, but Reece Walsh has a lot to play for. Good role. He's goal kicking. I'd probably say, and you're a Broncos fan too, so I'm probably going to say Reece Walsh. So by you, I mean Noz is a Broncos fan, but I guess you are as well. I'd probably say Walsh if you can afford him, and if you don't need the middle cover. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with Tino's definitely the safer play out of the 2, but Reece Walsh has the higher upside. So the thing with higher upside players, there's only 3 rounds left. You only need him to get 2 really high scores, and he will still average higher than the other guy who's just averaging 50. So he could do it. It could work. It's a flip of the coin.
We got Drinky on a buy as well, round 27. So the wing fullback cover is probably going to be useful at that point too. Fancy Triple H, how are we? How are you, Turtle? I didn't ask you. I just jumped straight in. Just like, give me your knowledge. But how you doing?
I'm good. I had sport today, so I didn't have any Powerades, but I've done my 14,000 steps for the day, and I still have to go to the gym later on. So I'm a bit tired, but really keen to watch the footy, get into the Thursday show as well. So I'm going good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
No worries. Mate, I'm good. Yeah, I was in Barangaroo all day today doing some sort of worky stuff. But look, if you're a bit tired, this game tonight's not going to help you stay awake. It's a stinker, mate. They're 2 good teams, but they're missing a lot of troops. Going to be wet as fuck in Brisbane, so watch out for Haas, captain. Yeah, I mean, Haas is good in the wet, so I'm good with it.
They're
wet
playing in Newcastle, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They were training in Maitland today, actually.
Yeah, so
yeah,
being wet in Brisbane means nothing.
There's a little bit of rain around Newcastle, I think, as well. But yeah, I'm not worried about it. Cleary's in the wet too. Like, well, not wet, but wet-ish. Like it's going to be damp, so I'm not super worried. Wet in Sydney, Colo a bit scary. Look, Colomatungi, his game doesn't scale as well in the wet, so that could be a fair shout that I don't know, he's a risky one. Keon or Walsh, Turtles?
Ooh.
I'm going to say Walsh. For 99% of teams, it's Walsh. Unless you want an outrageous pod. The pod is the only reason you go Keon. Otherwise, it's Walsh.
Yeah, 99% of teams as well. It's just because no one has like crazy amounts of depth. Most people have like some sort of dud.
Yeah. And then Duncan or Yo, definitely Yo, if Duncan's playing center. Is Yo a trade? I think you're trading to Tino. Do we have an update on Yo's position in the team, actually? We might have that coming through because they play at 6 tomorrow. I'll just quickly check for that.
Oh, they do. Yo to Tino. Let me think. If Yo's coming off the bench, then Yo could easily average quite well the next 2 games. So even if he comes off the bench this game, he might still give you 2 good games in the next following weeks. So maybe just hold that trade.
Both coaches are keeping very good players in their 19th man spot. So Isaiah Yo for the Panthers and Ricky keeping Danny Levi in that jersey for the Raiders, who could sneak in, play his about even. He scores a lot of tries, Danny Levi. Then sticking with Haas this week. We'll talk captaincy in a sec. So lots of messages coming through. I think we just got to cut it off. And we'll get more messages in a sec. But let's hear the question here. Longton Turtles, who are you captaining this week? It better be me. I'll let you go first, man. Where are you leaning on captaincy?
Payne Haas. I've been a Payne Haas truther either for the past 3 weeks, even the week where he was named and then didn't play as well. I still captain him then. I'm sticking to Payne Haas the whole way. I started with him. I'm sticking with him. He's my Bronco powerhouse captain. He's my champion. His name is Payne. He loves Payne. Just give him more ball. He's gonna get us offloads. He's gonna have like a 20 runs or something. Even if he only plays like 50 to 60 minutes, his PPM is through the roof. So Payne Haas for me.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. We had a look at the numbers as well, and Newcastle have conceded a boatload of tries to props, like an insane amount. Because I was thinking earlier in the week, their middle rotation is not too bad. Like maybe they can sort of lock it up a bit in the middle, and they're going to leak on the edges. But if it's going to be a little bit sloppy in Newcastle, not wet necessarily, not wet weather, but a little sloppy, that could play into Payne Haas's hands. The new halves combo, it could be a little clunky as well. Reece Walsh had the game of his life last week, but if it's a tighter game, they're going to go to Haas a lot, and especially that slightly wet weather, it's great for Haas because he doesn't really turn. He doesn't step. He has speed and he has power, but he doesn't step. So the wet weather doesn't actually stop him from doing what he does in attack. Offload's a little bit less, but we saw him against the Dogs earlier in the year when the Dogs were on top. He totally dominated. So I'm kind of starting to lean Payne Haas as well. But on the other side of things, I think Canberra's a great matchup for Cleary because they've been a bit dodgy lately. I think this could be a high-scoring game, a bit of a battle. And I just don't think, Blaise Talangi's been getting a lot of ball for Penrith in the easier matchups. But I think in a tougher game, especially after losing last week versus Storm, we're going to see Cleary sort of take over again. I think we're going to see a dominant Cleary game. I think Blaise will score sub 25 this week. Be really quiet. So that's kind of where I'm thinking maybe Cleary's the go. We'll talk Cleary and then we'll go through this list here. But do you have any desire at all, Turtles, to go Cleary instead of Haas, or are you just stuck on Haas here?
I'm very biased. It's very hard for you to sway my decision here. But I feel like everyone's sleeping on Canberra. I feel like most people are tipping Penrith for this win, but I actually think Canberra can upset them here. It's crazy that they're coming first after 24 rounds and they're the underdog. That's wild to me. So I'm actually backing Canberra in my tipping comp this week. So anyone who watches this show who's in my tipping comp, heads up, I'm tipping Canberra. So but the thing is, Cleary can still score really, really well, even if they lose. So he scored pretty well last week and they still lost. Extra time helps a little bit as well. If he ends up getting one of those field goals, suddenly his points are closer to Haas. The gap between them wasn't too much. So
Yeah.
the debate between the two, it feels like it doesn't really matter too much because they're usually scoring quite similar to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, by the way. I've tipped Canberra as well. But that's kind of why I'm going Cleary, because I think they lost last week. They're going to be back against the wall this week. You're going to see him doing everything in this game. The thing I'm thinking about, though, is there's been a bit of rain in Mudgee recently. I don't know the ground at Mudgee. If anyone here is from Mudgee, actually, we should probably talk to Gun 40 about it. But if anyone here is from Mudgee, how good is the drainage on the Mudgee field? Like, my guess is it's probably not as good as the first grade, level stadiums, right? So if it's been raining a bit, it might be a bit sludgy. Like, it might be a bit soft, and that might play against Cleary, especially against a tough Canberra side who, if you run straight at them, most of them will lay you out. So I lean more and more towards Haas. Like, if it was dry weather completely, I'm probably going Cleary this week. But just the fact that it's been a little bit wet, I'll decide at the end of the show, as I always do. But that's the big toss up there. We've got a few other options flying through as well. I'll just quickly shout out here. Brendan mentions Jai reckons he's got me beaten head to head. Blindside for the win. If anyone who doesn't know, by the way, Blindside, NRL Fantasy, good friend of mine. Jai Watkins there. He started off Blindside. I've been pounding Jai all year, absolutely destroying him. He almost quit fantasy from the demolishings that I've handed him. But he's in a bit of form right now. So I've got a bit of trash talk in there. No, he does make good content there. So Instagram in particular, if you check out Blindside NRL Fantasy, he's got a lot of detail in his content there. So if you like that, that's definitely a place for you. Then Campbell, captain. Let's start talking about these options here. And it's like Taj knows, because Campbell's third on the list there. Campbell ahead of Terrell May on this list as well. Not that it's ranked, but do you have any love for Campbell here? Up against the Warriors, missing Jackson Ford, who's a bit of a glue guy this week, and running some new combinations at center this week as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of love for Campbell. Like, he has gone really big in the past. His scoring profile is pretty good. Like, he scores in multiple fields. He has a really good running game on him. He's kicking goals. He is the dominant kicker as well. I think Foran's been kicking a little bit more lately, but then Campbell's been running more lately. So it's kind of balanced out. So he's still scoring quite well. It's just Haas just gets 60 to 80 points by just walking on the field. And same with Cleary. It's like they just do it without too much effort. Whereas you see Campbell, he has to put in a lot of groundwork, and then he just pops out like a 65, and you're like, oh man. Not too much love for Campbell. I'll probably give him a 6 out of 10 for a spicy pod. I feel like there's some other pods in this list which are a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's fun, and he's been pumping out big numbers lately, but he can score 35 to 40 points. It's not that unusual. Whereas for Haas to score 35, he has to go off in the first half and never come back, basically. So I'm with you there. I think if the Titans were playing better, maybe I'd think about it. But at the same time, he did score that 60 last week purely in base, no attacking stats in that one. So you'd make the case. I don't hate it completely. We've got a bunch of other captain options here as well, but I want to talk about Terrell May here just briefly. I think he's going to be a pod captain this week. And actually, let's look at the numbers here, because last week he was kind of popular. Like, not super popular, but kind of popular as a captain. I think he was... What are his numbers like for last week? So last week he had 33%, right? Payne Haas had 54%. Cleary only had 12%. So 33% for him. I reckon he goes below 10% this week, because he's had back-to-back low-scoring games. He's gotten the minutes in both those games. He's not looking super impactful. And they've got a softer matchup versus the Cowboys, which it means less tackling for Terrell May. So I think he's going to be the pod captain this week. But if you want a pod captain, that Tigers matchup is kind of where I'm sitting there. So it's either Terrell May or it's Adam Dewey. And depends how you see the game going, right? If you think it's going to be a good battle, or you think the Cowboys are going to win, I like Terrell May. I like Terrell May a lot in this matchup. If you think the Tigers are going to run it up, they have beaten the Cowboys 66 to 18, I think it was, last year at Leichhardt. I've mentioned that about 47 times this week. I'm going to mention it again because they ran up scores at Leichhardt against the Cowboys, according to that one game sample size. But Dewey could be a
last
shout.
Year? I feel like...
Was it year before?
I feel like the Cowboys won both games against the Tigers.
I think you're right. I think it might be the year before. Yeah. Okay. Year before. Anyway, look, Leichhardt, though. That's the big thing there. So I think they're a couple of real pod captains. And if I was going to pod captain, for me, it's either Dewey or Terrell May. and both will be sub 10%. It doesn't really matter if it's 1% or 5%, though. Like, I just don't think that impacts your ranking move unless you're, in the top 20, and then it sort of does start to matter. But which one of those two do you think shouts out to you more, Turtles?
Out of those two, probably Dewey, because I do expect Tigers to show up here. They've strung together a couple of wins in a row. If you include the bye as a gap as well, they did beat the Bulldogs before the bye as well, which is kind of impressive. It's just Terrell May. He scores really well if he gets 80 minutes, and we haven't seen him get 80 minutes in so long. And then he's like PPM, especially if they're winning, it's not so good because, like you said, he relies a lot on tackling. Like, if the Tigers are on the back foot, then he's getting 40 to 50 tackles, all right? And then if he's playing 80 minutes, and then you're throwing a couple offloads, like 150 meters run or something, suddenly he's got a really good score. But lately, the Tigers haven't really been on the back foot. They've been on the front foot. They've been attacking. So he's only getting like 20, 35 tackles or something like that. And it's ruining his base at the moment. So most likely Dewey for that upside. I think Tigers are going to win here. Like you said, Leichhardt. It's Leichhardt. They have to.
Yeah, I don't mind that shout at all. I think Terrell, though, maybe if he gets those attacking stats, like, it's going to happen at some point. I don't know if it really hasn't really happened this year, that big attacking game, but he has scored 104 and 80 in his 2 games at Leichhardt. So, it's a big atmosphere game. Terrell May is a pretty emotional football player as well. Like, he seems like he really laps it up when there's a big moment. So, look, they're pods. They're real pod captains. Like, for me, it's Cleary or Haas. But if you want a pod captain, they're the two. Like, they're guys who shouldn't go below 50 and could go 100 plus. That's really what you want out of your pod captain in a matchup where we're favoring them as well. Campbell on the fence there. We'll talk about a few more options here. Just quickly, what are we ranked? You've got 2 sides there, Turtle. So share your ranks, and I'll.
My side is about 680, I think, and the Misso side's I think 18th.
18th, and I'm about 1,000th. So, mate, you're ahead of me this year, but I got you next year. Ready to smash the Panthers. Mate, the shout, JC was stink. No, we've got a Waz fan. Who out of the big 3 would be the pod captain? Definitely Terrell May is the pod captain for sure this week. Roughly how much would you expect Yo to score? If he comes off the bench, I'm forecasting. You got 4 points? 40?
40.
Oh, I'm going high. I'm going 48. Like, specifically
coming
48.
Off the bench. Coming off the bench.
Yep. 60 minutes, 55 minutes maybe, 50 minutes at lowest,
I reckon
48 points.
Less than 60 minutes.
Even if he gets 50, it's 48 points. I just think he gets that 48 to 52, that kind of bracket there. I think he'd be solid. What's going on? Brendan, again, moist. Julia Robinson for captain. 114 last week. We need some NRLW fantasy going on soon. We definitely need a bit of that. Campbell, captain. We talked about him. Why is Trell on the captain list? Because I have a sense of humor, Arrow. That's why. Trell. You could loophole, Mudgee is dry and Newcastle is wet, as long as it stays that way, right? Reece Walsh or Cardigan. Look, Reece Walsh is probably the shout there. Carrigan's not a bad shout, but Carrigan doesn't really have attacking stats in him, and an easy win versus the Knights is not great news for Pat Carrigan. So I'm going to say no. Blindsides rank, I think he's a bit lower ranked. I think he's outside the top 10K at the moment, but I'm not sure exactly. Reece Walsh, he's got some good. He had some blindside here. I'll tell you this, Turtles, that he had a rough start to the year because he was a full non-believer in Payne Haas. He was just like, Payne Haas is going to return to the norm. Don't worry about it. And most of the time, by the way, like, his analysis made sense, but it just did not work out for him at all this year. So, I respect the hell of it out of him for, dying on that hill. And his team definitely did die on that hill. Then any NFL fantasy YouTubers you can recommend? I'll get you some answers by next week. What I would be doing right now is probably searching for like mock drafts. So search for mock drafts at the moment, and you can see, different people's takes and see who you enjoy, and then you can find their channels, because normally they do collaborative mock drafts. Longy, thoughts on Jake Arthur? Been great the last 2 games. I just think like they're playing so terrible that even though they have no other options, his job security isn't good. And he's been a big part of them really sucking lately as well. Then let's see. I'm going to have to slide past some questions. So, guys, the trade questions will hit later in the episode. Let's keep talking captains, though. Also, interesting. Sorry, quickly. Dragons team in Little hooker, Cook at lock. Okay, there's a draft league I'm in where I actually might go get Little off the waivers right now if he's
Go get him.
available. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing Damien Cook and Jacob Little as captain and BC, and we're just gonna lock that in. No, just kidding. I think Reece Walsh has every opportunity as a pod captain to do basically the same thing as Drinkwater did last week. The only worry is last week Cowboys were playing at home and they wanted to prove a point. You could tell that they did. The thing is, Broncos have a similar narrative. They're playing to stay in the top eight. The top eight is very congested at the moment, at least the bottom half of it. And I feel like most of the attack is going to just come from Reece Walsh and Ben Hunt, because who else is it coming out from? Like with Billy Walters, like he did do that awesome try assist to Karapani. Like the vision he had for that was amazing, but then again, Ben Hunt's doing 3 try assists. Reece Walsh was involved in everything. He ran for 250 meters. He took the strapping off his leg and just seemed like a new man. It was, if you're going to do a pod captain, I won't even bother worrying about, I don't know, Terrell May. It's probably Dewey or Walsh for me if you're looking for a pod captain. Dewey or Walsh, just because of the matchups.
Dewey or Walsh. Okay, I think Terrell could prove people wrong though. I just reckon that could be a good game for him, but. Look, fair shout. We've got some different views here. Let's keep ripping through. What have we got else for captain? I mean, I've got Turbo there. who are the real out there options? Because I left Turbo on there. We talked Walsh already. Munster probably goes back to the halves. Could be good against the Dogs. They've been pretty fragile recently. Then Hudson Young up against Penrith will have to step up, but his recent form hasn't been cracker, so probably not for me. Got a lot of questions. We talked about Tedesco already. You could have a ponder on. People are excited about Harry Grant, actually. But let's rip into that next section, because captains, we'll lock it in later in the episode. But I'm feeling pretty Haasy with you. You kind of convinced me on Haas. And just before we do, quick shout out to Connor Watson, who is our farewell of the week. Not injured, not suspended. No problems with him. He's just a scourge on our fantasy sides. He is causing me pain on a weekly basis. And as a non-Aaron Clark owner, he's my starting hooker.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I actually probably would trade him, but I'd need to buy another hooker. And I just refuse to buy Aaron Clark at this stage, even though he's actually a good option this week. And who else do I go for? I'm not chasing Harry Grant late. I think Harry Grant's going to be coming good this week. No, I'm not doing that. So Connor Watson, you're on my team, but farewell to your, my sense of optimism about you, because you're on the never again list as well. Now, who are we buying? This week? Your trades, Turtles. What are you thinking this week?
For my team, I copped a few outs. I usually loop around with Obelix Tafa, but he's not named this week. But the depth's pretty good. I have loopers where I can loop Watson, Tanner Boyd, Marky Mark, and Tommy Turbo, and just pick 2 out of the 2. Most likely, I'm going to play Nawa out of those guys, and then maybe use the last loop between Tanner Boyd or Watson or something. But maybe Tommy Turbo. Who's Manly playing? Are they playing the Dolphins? But at Dolphins. 4 points
at Brookie, yeah.
At Brookie, yeah. I might. It largely depends whether or not Watson is coming off the bench or not. If he's coming off the bench, he's doomed. He's probably out of my side as well. I have $280,000 in the bank, so Watson to anyone is very, very viable. And I've got 3 trades, so I just don't know who I want. That's the biggest issue. There's no one I really, really want. There's no must-have anymore, because everyone has all the must-haves, and right now everything else is just a pod. And pods come with risk.
Yeah. If you have bulk trades, though, Watson's he's such a liability right now. I just think, theoretically, there's nothing stopping him from going back to some decent form. They're probably not going to towel Parramatta up this week. They're probably not going to absolutely cook Parramatta. So, Watson might have to put in some work this week. And I've got another dog here as well.
2 dogs.
This is the sister's dog looking after him. But Watson might have to put in some work this week. And Parramatta have leaked some points to hookers. So, yeah, there's potential that he could go well. Like, you'd think if Watson plays how he normally plays for 60-odd minutes, he's so smelly, he's in the rain. He plays his normal game. Like, he could go well. Like, that first game where he played off the bench, he did score a 60. So, there is potential, like, for Watson there. I don't know, I'm just trying to, like, make the people who don't have trades left, like me, feel a bit better about holding him. But, yeah, Hooker's a bit of a mess. It's a bit streaky. Question here from MC. Your longy is AFB and Watson to Dewey and Wishart worth it. Leaves me with 0 trades. Or Watson and Turbo to Walsh and Hunt. I wouldn't sell Turbo for Hunt. And Turbo against the Finns. It's a good matchup. Playing at home. Should be okay. So AFB and Watson to Dewey and Wishart. Especially if you're in head-to-head finals. But I think this is an okay trade. You don't really want to sell AFB, but gets you to Dewey and Wishart. I'm okay with these trades, especially if you're in a head-to-head final. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, actually, I know who this is. This MC always messages me. It's just like I don't really want to sell AFB here, but I guess if it's a head-to-head final, then yeah, you can do it. It's just wish he's just a looper. Like sometimes I feel like he's kind of tricking everyone. He's a bit of a bait. Like people trying to get him right now. Like he's had a couple of good scores and he's doing great, but if Pappy comes back and Munster goes back to the halves, there's every chance that Munster might come out and be the dominant half that game, and Wishart gets to 20. Like there's every chance that happens. Yeah. So AFB's been doing very badly as well, actually.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
Gets a rest, though, so maybe he comes back good.
If you could go Watson to Dewey in one move, I'll definitely do that. I think that's very viable. But if you can't and you have to do the two,
I think he does.
Do it. It's just head to head. So yeah, do it.
If you're overall though, probably not worth it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Wishart is Galvin. Like really, the scoring profiles are identical. Like they're not dominant kickers. They'll be kicking every now and then. They're mostly ball running sixes. The difference is Wishart plays positive, energetic footy, and Galvin is just trying to drain the life out of my fantasy side right now. I think Galvin might bounce back. I need that to be true. So,
what do you?
Yeah.
I got to let you in on something. I actually told Galvin that I'll give him one of my 3-piece feeds if he bums out. I said that way it's a win-win situation. I get a 3-piece feed, he gets a 3-piece feed.
The man's on like 900 grand a year, and he's sabotaging his footy for a 3-piece feed. That's brave. Trell to Dewey, 1 trade left head-to-head is a firm yes. Great trade. If you're a head-to-head final especially, got to do it. Jack Campion asks, who are we captaining this week for both of us? So Turtles is on the Haas Express. I'm tossing up between Haas and Cleary. It's pretty basic this week. One of those two I'll lock in for sure. Cook to lock. Thoughts on how that impacts his scoring this week? Like, I think if you have Cook, you stick with him. If you don't have him, you don't buy him. Pretty straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have him, you can play him confidently. You don't have to loop that. Or you can if you have a lot of loop. Just say if you have like 3 sharks or something like Hines, AFB, and Brayley, then you can definitely loop. But if you don't have a loop option, you can probably confidently play him. I wouldn't go out and buy him. It's a temporary thing. They just suffered 3 HIAs, the Dragons.
Yeah. Stewart's out for the year. DeBellin is back next week, though, I would expect. So, yeah, I agree with you. Haas, best captain option. Won't he get rested when they're up by 50 at half time? Do you think they're going to be up by 50? Because this is a Broncos side that, look, they've had some highlights, right? When you think about the Broncos recently, you think it's been fun. But they lost to Parramatta. They got beat comprehensively by Parramatta. I just want to make sure you rub that one in. And then they had a pretty competitive game against the Dolphins, who aren't in great form right now at all. So I don't think they're like Newcastle are terrible, right? But I don't know if they're going to run away with it from the jump. Like, what do you think?
I think you answered it just then. Like if a team gets embarrassed, which the Knights literally just got embarrassed by the Cowboys, they come out the next game with a little bit more zest, a little bit more oomph. And Phoenix Scotland, I see his tackling style, especially when he's at lock, similar to someone like Reid Marnie. So he rushes really fast out of the line. He puts an impact on the player. He might it might be a missed tackle on fantasy or whatever, but it definitely like staggers the ball runners' momentum for the rest of the Knights to jump in. And the Knights aren't the defensive juggernaut as they were at the beginning of this year, for at least the first half of it. But I feel like they're going to bounce back here. They're playing at Newcastle. They're playing for their fans who are going to rock up. They're going to be in the rain. You owe it to them to make a competitive game here. And if it's a competitive game, Haas is going to play big minutes.
Yep. No, agree. I think and new halves combo too. So I think could take time to establish a lead. Like there's no guarantee they just clamp them from the start, right? Would you start Yo confidently? If he's starting, absolutely. If he's off the bench, we talk. Turtle said 48, 40 to 45. I've gone sort of 45 to 55, but he's a low upside option for this week, is what we're thinking if he's coming off the bench. Was buying Tino and Walsh, but with Paps back, is Munster a no-brainer instead of Tino? Upside of this is good matchup against the Dogs. Munster's in great form in the half spot. He's the dominant half when he plays next to Wishart. Downside is if Jarom Hughes comes back in round 27, there's every chance that Munster gets a rest. And I don't think it'll happen. I think they'll want to run their full spine before the finals. That's my guess. But there is a chance. Wow, ferocious dog. There is a chance that Munster does get a rest in that game. What do you think about Munster as an option, Turtles?
I think Tino's the way to go. So Jamin Jolliffe suffered an injury. There's going to be an uptick in Tino's scoring profile at the moment, or at least his minutes, which means he's going to get more points. And if you look at the run home, it's Warriors at the Gold Coast this week. Then you go into the Dolphins, who have a pretty small forward pack at the moment just because they're suffering from so many injuries. And then the final game is the Tigers at the Gold Coast as well. So the run home for the Titans, if you're a forward, is actually very attractive. Whereas if you look at like the Melbourne Storm, I think theirs is a little bit more harder. They've got the Bulldogs into the Roosters, into the Broncos, like all top 8 sides at the moment. So Titans, I'll take Tino. I'll take Tino over Munster at the moment. He's cheaper too.
Fair play. Tino's not a bad shout. Trying to avoid that wooden spoon as well. Hold Watson if he's my 18th man, or sell for Max King, Leo Thompson. I would. He's your 18th man. I think he's loopholeable. I'd hold him. I don't really like Leo Thompson or Max King, so we'll slide past that. Don't get Wishart. Bellamy just said Hughes back round 27. Yeah, that could be the risk. We do like Ben Hunt a lot more than Wishart this week, so I think it's 20k extra. If you can go Ben Hunt instead of Wishart, that's a good shout. I don't have players to loop. Which two should I start? I'll leave one for you, mate. Fogarty, Tarpanay, or Turbo? Which two are you starting here, Turtles?
Taps and Fogarty. I think Raiders are going to win. So yep. I'm back. I'm sticking by my statement. So for Taps, I feel like Taps has been getting like low minutes and stuff. I think if they're going to play him decent minutes, it's got to be this game against Penrith, right? It has to be.
It has to be. Yeah.
It has to be this game.
It does. You're spot on. Like if they don't play him proper minutes here and they lose to Penrith, I'm going to be writing a firmly worded letter to Ricky Stewart. That's what I'll be doing. Trying to think of a good threat without making a bad threat on the internet. Sorry, I'm late, lads. Who are we captaining this week and why is it Haas? Yeah, look, Haas is a good option. I'm still tossing it up. But yeah, Edison asks, I'm ranked about 1,000th like you, Longy. At what rank do you say safe cap or risk it? I have 0 trades left. Highest win all season. 0 trades left, you're going to struggle down the stretch. My take on this is have a think about, the game and just play the game in a way that you're not going to regret. So if you take a shot at a risky captain and they score 26 and you get a 52 out of your captain, if you in your heart can say, you know what, I had a bit of fun with that, that's fine, then you can take the risky captain right now. But if you want to maximize ranks and that kind of thing, then you probably just go for a normal captain. The odds are in the favor of the normal captain, by the way. So we talk about risky versus normal. It's not like a 50-50, like some half the time risky works, half the time normal. Normal works 9 times out of 10, right? That's, even Jaden Campbell as a captain option. There were some insane coaches back when he scored 7 points who jumped on him as a captain. And Turtles, I think you knew some of them.
Maybe.
Sorry, mate. You took the shot, but you didn't you live by the pod, die by the pod. You keep taking risks. So Edison, Follow your heart, mate. Follow your heart. Go with whatever you want to go with. Hudson Young, risky against Penrith. What's your projected score for Hudson Young this week, Turtles?
63.
63.
63, yeah.
Matt. Hey, Longy, would you go Walsh or Campbell for last trade head-to-head? I'm thinking Campbell. Campbell's the better option. Walsh has that good matchup, but I think Campbell is the shout. Then what else we got? Crossland at 9. Yeah, good shout. I'm trying to find a good one here. Munster, Tino. 2 trades head-to-head. Tino or Walsh. Talked about that a bunch already too. JC got a 5-game average of 70. Yep. Selling Yo. What are your thoughts on this, Turtles? Give me 1 sec. I'll be back in a sec. Just talk through what you're thinking about Yo. If he's off the bench this week, would you potentially sell him as a head-to-head or overall coach?
Head-to-head coach, off the bench, most likely you're selling him. He's a decent amount of money. I sold him when he first got injured, and it was just I don't know if I was like traumatized from like having Couchman and that injury in the shoulder. I just thought even if he does come back, he's going to be playing lower minutes. He's not. Yo's scoring profile requires him to play 80 minutes, make 45 tackles, and then get 150 meters run. That's already 55 points. And then anything on top of that is the added bonus. So when you're buying Yo, you're looking for a 60 average, but he doesn't have a scoring profile similar to like Cleary where he just accumulates stats by walking around. He doesn't have something like Payne Haas where he can do one run and get 15 points in one run. Yo is like a slow accumulator of points, and he needs those minutes. If he's getting sub 60 or even worse, sub 50 minutes, then I don't think he's going to do good as well. My predicted score for him this week is probably 40 to 45, depending on how many minutes he gets. But if you're a head-to-head coach, this is like your semi-final or your grand final. So shoot for some high upside guys or someone a little bit more solid than Yo at the moment. Like if you had Watson and Isaiah Yo, I'll probably sell both of them at this stage. Just get some solid guys to win you that head-to-head comp, and then maybe you'll win over someone who was forced to hold those guys. So go for it. Shoot for gold.
Yeah. I'll pay that. I heard some of that.
I'll pay that. It just comes back in there at the very end.
I like the takes. You have some pretty good takes. Now, let's go through. Let's build our SmartB sides. As always, guys, SmartB is the sponsor of the show. Guys, jump in, seriously. So SmartB, the link is in the description of this video. For this week and for every week for the rest of the year, the highest score from any game wins $100. So if you're out of trades, you might as well jump in. Just make sure you tick that free competitions button. The link I have takes you there, and you can just play for free. And if you get it lucky, you can compete for that $100. Right now, 14 people competing in this Rabbitohs v Dragons game. Let's try and get as many in there. So if you are playing along, link is in the description. Jump in, have a game. I love these guys. And the more of you jump in, the better it is for me too. It actually helps me out a bunch. So I appreciate you. Now, let's go through this game. And Turtles, we always do the Thursday game. This is a disgusting game of footy when it comes to daily fantasy. So we don't have many options at all for the Rabbitohs v Dragons. Very affordable options, though, the ones we do have. I'll throw to you first. Give me like 2 or 3 names from this one that you're liking.
Jai Gray, Tallis Duncan, Keon.
I meant for the backline.
Is it just for backline?
Yeah.
Gutho. And cool. Alex Johnson.
I'll throw you in here too.
I've said too many.
Not with Latrell gone. I'm going to go. I'll take Tuipulotu. I think he has some tries in him.
Oh, the money man.
Then, yeah, I like Tuipulotu. I'm a big Tuipulotu fan. I wish he could keep those hammies right. He's good when we could throw Jacob Little in there because the guys who are on the bench. Well, he's on the bench. He's on the bench anymore, but bench guys can be thrown into any position.
Yeah, throw him in. We found a loophole.
Little, all right. I'll put a Little in the back line. How good. Then ripping through to center. What do we got here? Not center. Sorry, halves. So it's Humphreys, Cody Walker off the bench, Flanagan, King Tongi has been in good form lately as well. Look, do we go Humphreys? You love your Humphreys, right?
It's just Cody Walker's coming from the bench, right? Is Ashton Ward still playing? Like, wait,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the 24 update. I know you guys said it for the Dragons and like the shift there, but for the Rabbits, no, it's the same. It's Ashton Ward and
Yep.
Humphries starting. So I feel
Yeah.
like Humphries is only going to play half a game, and then Cody Walker's going to jump on. So
Dragons halves then.
maybe Dragons halves, yeah, LKT and Flano.
All right, we're very pro Dragons here so far. Then in the
Mm.
front row, we've got Jai Arrow. Oh, sorry, second row, Jai Arrow, Luciano Leilua, Hubner, Host is there. Halangahu, we could take a shot at as well, save some money. I reckon let's do that. What about Halangahu, Arrow, and Leilua?
Yeah, I like that. Why can we
bit of
pick Cody Walker here?
He's on the bench.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Spicy,
it looks goofy though with
spicy.
him at the prop there. Now you want Kalamatangi, so we'll put him in.
Yeah.
Who do you like here? Cook,
We have
Clemmer.
to take Cook and
Yep.
Clemmer.
Yeah, bang. I agree with that completely. And then in the interchange, we've got 3.3 mil. We can basically get whoever we want. Do you want Humphreys?
How many tries does Alex Johnson have to score for him to break the record?
I think he's still a few away.
Does anyone know? That's good. Oh no, I'm gonna Google it. You pick a guy. I'm gonna try to Google it.
Yeah, I'm putting Munro in. I'm going to put Johnson in. You've thought about it enough. Johnson's going in. Then, Corey Allen. I don't like the bottom of this list, so I'm going to go back to the top. Buchanan's been in good form, and it's between Cody Walker, Jamie Humphreys. Which one do you like more? Surely Jamie. You play in the middle a bit.
Jamie's starting. Is he kicking goals?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Okay, cool. Captain, vice captain. I'm going to chuck the vice captaincy on Little at fullback. And I'm assuming you want Kalamatangi as captain.
I was thinking Jai Gray, but let's say Keon. Let's say Keon. I think they're just it's wet weather. It's going to be the battle's going to be done in the forward pack. So Keon for captain.
Okay, Keon for captain. Boom. All right, let's submit that team. Giving ourselves a shot here. I've actually won the prizes a couple of times in this too, and I just can't. Although I can't qualify. Can't qualify.
Aww.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm leaving it for everyone else. So totals, you can qualify. By the way, you can.
We could have had 30-piece feeds instead of 3-piece feeds.
It would have been nice. Now, second game here: Panthers, Raiders. Not a bad shout. Storm, Bulldogs. Seagulls, Dolphins could be fun. Titans, Warriors, Eels,
Let's go Panthers,
Roosters.
Raiders. Panthers, Raiders.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
Not Tigers, Cowboys. I reckon Tigers, Cowboys.
Tigers, Cowboys.
Let's do it. It's like I love the Leichhardt games, man. So back five again, and then we'll rip through some fantasy questions to finish off. We got Drinkwater is definitely going in.
Braden Burns.
Who do you like? Burns.
Burns and
actually
Fuller.
so cheap on this as well.
Braden Burns, there he is.
Yeah. You want Buller?
That's my 3.
I'm going to go Stafford Toa as well. And then last one, Taylor May has been in pretty good form recently, so I'm going to pop him in. Halves, definitely Adam Dewey. And then do you want Dearden?
Definitely Dearden.
Yeah, that's a mean halves pairing, man. Like we're going to have to find some pods at some point. John Bateman, revenge game. Do you back it? No.
We can pick Twal in the second row. I don't mind that.
Lock. Is it lock? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I take Twal.
Twal's a must. I agree with that. I think Cotter could have a big one, and then we could take a shot at like Samuel Afinu or Nanai for attacking stats, maybe.
Yeah, let's go Nanai. I like Nanai.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll stick with Nanai. He has his day. Every now and then. And then front row, Taumalolo. He's priced up from previous years. Robson, shocker last week, had that sin bin. I'm going to say Terrell May is a must. Coruscant I like. And then who else do you want in the front row here?
It's a tough one. It's a tough
Royce
one.
Hunt?
Oh, Royce the choice. I prefer McKaylee over Royce Hunt, but do we just go 3 Tigers? Do I get Polly?
I like that. Yeah, I reckon they blast them. So 3 Tigers in the front row. Then on the bench here, we've got Clifford, Bateman, Tamalolo, Robson, Skelton, not a bad shout. Taruva, Luai. I'm going to chuck Luai in. And I'm going to take Bateman in the revenge game as well. And I'll give you the other 2 spots.
Scroll down. I saw his name, but I forgot what it was. I'll take Purdue.
Purdue.
And do
Purdue.
I have one more?
You got one more.
Ooh.
You got 1.6 million.
Okay, scroll back up. We'll get someone expensive. Do we have Cotter already?
Yep.
Oh no,
I'll play
Robson.
Clifford, Tamalolo, Robson, Skelton,
Robson. I feel like
Samuel
they're going to be tackling a lot. We get a bonus if he gets 50 tackles.
as long as he doesn't get sin binned. And for the captaincy, I think Dearden and Dewey, we just double up here. Which one do you think for captain? Dewey?
Captain the Dewey.
Yeah. Captain the do, and VC Dearden. Cheers for helping with that, Turtle. Now, guys, if you do want to play, link is in the description of this video. It's SmartB, Smart Play. Make sure you're checking out the free games to start with at least. And you can compete for $100 for the top scorer. Now, riffing back in to fantasy for this week. So we talked about our moves, talked about trades. Connor Watson. Let's quickly hit some more questions here. They're going to fire through. So what have we got coming through? We've got a love for Safarth coming through here from Sam. Link in the chat. Yep, I'll flick that link through to the chat while we're talking. Captaincy call. Turtles, you want to sum this up quickly? What we think about captaincy?
I'm thinking Payne Haas all the way. I've been picking him for the past few weeks, and he hasn't done me wrong. I'm also a very, very, very biased Broncos believer, so that's me. But for Longy, he's a bit on the fence, so I'm sure he's going to reveal it very, very shortly while he's trying to get that link done. But he's on the fence with Cleary. Even if we both think Raiders are going to win, there's every chance that Cleary still gets at 80 plus, like even if they lose. And if it's going to be a really tight game, then that random field goal suddenly bumps him up an extra 5 points. That it could be sweet. He has very valid arguments. I just Payne Haas truther.
Yeah, I'm tossing it up too. By the way, guys, I did chuck the link in the chat as well, so you can copy and paste that. It's probably too long to read out and send. I'm really struggling with this because I have been on Haas last week once, and Cleary before that, and I've been getting them right mostly recently. Canberra, maybe Canberra. I don't know. Did Canberra beat up Penrith in this game? And Yo's probably going to play. Let's assume Yo plays. He plays off the bench. Cleary went well in a loss last week. Cleary doesn't need them to run up a big score. Like a competitive game is good for Cleary. Haas. Oh, it's just all right. So you need a Haas. We need a Haas attacking stat. Oh, that Payne Haas picture. Give me one sec. I'll put you up full screen.
This is
all right. Here we go. It's like Rob's here.
I saw a comment from Rob, and he was saying we've been missing something, and I know what it is, and it isn't Rob. It's just the photos. All right, so this is your captain. This is your captain.
I do miss Rob though. I do miss Rob. Well, yeah, it's so if they pound Newcastle, which they're expected to do, right? Like we expect them to beat Newcastle well. Haas needs a big play. He needs a big attacking play. He hasn't really had those big attacking plays recently. He's had big games, but he's not breaking off those huge plays. That's Corey Pakes is back at hooker. I think that's good news for Haas. Corey Pakes was good for Haas at the start of the year. I'm really tossing this up because I need for Haas to work. We need Newcastle to be a little bit okay at footy, and you talk about the embarrassment last week. That was actually their closest game in the last 3 weeks. So in the last month of footy, really, because they've conceded 40 plus the 2 weeks before that, and that was 38. So that was actually their best game of the last month. So they're not really bouncing back. Like they look pretty garbage. This is helping me. Andrew Barker, you're persuading me here. Haas pulled out the sideways runs last week. That is a game breaker. Oh, I'm thinking Haas up the Bronx. A lot of biased Broncos. Why do we have so many Broncos supporters who follow the channel? Actually, I feel like I talk so much smack on the Broncos, but to be fair, Queenslanders get footy. Like I think, yeah, like Brisbane footy atmosphere. Magic Round was sick this year, so I don't mind it. Oil up and call it, bro.
Oil up.
You gotta call it. Up. I'm never oiling up. Never. Ask 50 tackle bars. Yeah. I'm thinking Haas. I was on Cleary earlier. I'm going to go Haas. Just the stats we saw earlier, the fact that Newcastle conceded quite a few tries to props. They got the new halves combo. It all clicked for them last week, but it was pretty close against the Dolphins. It's going to be a little bit sloppy this week. They're playing away from home in Newcastle. Newcastle hopefully fire up a little bit for this one. Payne Haas will have to do quite a bit. I'll go Payne Haas. They don't have Xavier Willison as well. Without Xavier Willison, yeah, you've swayed me. You've swayed me.
I'm celebrating because we've talked to Rob, and Rob has told us that he would most likely be selecting Payne Haas. So you're the final link because we have 100% success rate when all three of us pick a captain out of the big three. We have always nailed it.
But we have to believe it. That's the key. We have to really believe in it. We can't just be doing it. I reckon it wouldn't work if we just did it for the sake of doing it.
No, I think it will. I think if we next week, if we all choose Tommy Talau, that means we will have to buy Tommy Talau. Then it's going to work.
254K, good price point for Tommy Talau. If you do want to jump on, Fungs Flukes just dropped in too. Haas all the way. There we go. We've got all three. It's like he's here. It's beautiful. Haas field goal coming as well. Let's hit a few questions though, guys. Fire through some questions just to finish up. We are coming towards the end. We've got my captaincy on Haas. Turtles, we're all Haas. It's the Haas captaincy show. So we're doing Haas. Here, it's some questions here. Watson or Purdue to Dewey, my last trade. I would sell Purdue, even though he's probably a slightly better scorer than Watson this week. I just think Watson has more potential to go back to starting and be effective, whereas Purdue, you're never going to trust him. So easy play. I'll throw this one to you, mate. I'm buying Reese Walla and Kolomatangi. And it's my grand final. Thoughts?
Yep, do it. Lock it in.
Bang it out. Love it. Whereas Fungy, he is off sick. He's got illness. He said 1 to 2 weeks. So we're calling him soft, but you can make your own judgment on that one. Sell Trell or Watson, last trade. Turtles?
The dog is sleeping on that. So that means that basically you're waiting to see if Watson gets benched. If Watson... Oh, Trell. Sorry. I just kind of skipped the Trell part. Yeah, sell Trell. He's got to buy next week.
Yeah, sell
Trell. Sorry.
Johnson, captain. He's going to score 4 tonight and break the record. Maybe for Supercoach. Noah or Ricky. Ricky's kind of... I'm assuming this is a start or sit question. You're not buying these two. I'd probably start Ricky. I think that Knights matchup is attractive. It's a good matchup. No, I'm going Ricky for sure.
Start Nawa. There's no Daniel Tupou. You have 2 excellent kickers in Savala and Sam Walker, and all the traffic's going to Nawa. Even though he scored 3 tries and got like a 40, this week he's scoring 6 tries and getting you an 80.
But senior Tupou's out, junior Tupou is in. So
you don't trust the junior. You don't trust the junior.
Yeah, that's valid. Don't captain Haas. Piakura is stealing his points. If Piakura was playing, I'd believe that because Piakura is that guy. Bench Yo or nah? I would say you pencil him in as like a 45 to 50. That's probably the sensible assessment. And you would play him over people who, score less than that. And you'd play him behind people who score more, right? So it depends on your rankings and your bench. Do I captain Haas, May, or Cleary? We've gone Haas. On this show. How long before game will Yo News be official? About 5 p.m. tomorrow. So usually an hour before game. If you go to the NRL app, you can see the team lists. And you can check those out. Matt Burton, RIP Fungy. I should have put Fungy on the farewell poster. That's what I should have done. Damn, missed opportunity. That's right. He'll be back next week. I'll put him on. Anyway, he's a coward. He's a chicken. Do you trade out Tarpanay? 4K in the bank. Would I trade out Tarpanay? Nah, I think Tarpanay steps up this week. I'm a believer. Thoughts on Clem Dog for the memers, Turtles?
Yeah, he's good. For the memes, only for the memes.
Especially with Cook at a lock. Clem should play big minutes. Do you think Gagai will bounce back? Gagai, so that game was his first game since 2022 with a score with under 99 run meters. He had 47. So that was a historically bad, uninvolved game from Gagai. So I think he bounces back a little bit, but not enough. I'm going to say a 37 this week. Gets work done, but I think the Broncos will cook him. Get a sick through the screen? No way. Haas or Campbell, captain? We like Haas, so we've gone all in on Haas. Trade Watson for who? We talked about all those options. Dewey is probably the best shout. LeBronk's blowout lessons Haas score. We're saying he's going to score tries. Sell. I'm going to speed up. How about Campbell, captain? We talked about him. High upside, but a bit risky. If Pia Kura played, we would have captained him for 2 points. I think that's a good one to finish on here. Pia Kura, when he comes back one day, because he has not graduated from the Casual Athlete School of Athleticism. So when he does come back, he will be in our teams for next year, and he will be the mascot again. And maybe Tommy Talau will make our teams too, because he's going to be about base price as well. So could be exciting. Turtles, any last word from you before we go to one of the least anticipated games of the year?
If you're doing luxury trades at the moment, only do it if you have 3 or more. If you only have 2 left, don't be doing luxury trades. It's not worth it. Wait and see about Watson, because there's every chance he might start. It's a bit iffy at the moment. But enjoy your footy. If you're done with footy, then just do pod captains. Have fun with it. Go for it.
Yep, have a laugh. Who are we captaining tonight, by the way? Sorry, tipping tonight. I've gone south. I think you went south as well. And cheers, Triple H. Cheers, everyone, for jumping on. Always a good time. Still, I think it was about 250 people that just peaked at. So, yeah, everyone's still rocking up for the Thursday show. We've got a few weeks left. If this is your last show for the year, by the way, I've loved having you. Turtles has as well. Well, I'll speak for you, Turtles. We've loved having you on the show. It's been an absolute cracker year. So appreciate the hell out of you guys. And, hopefully your head-to-head finals and the rest of the year for overall goes well. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Turtles. Signing off.